Hey, what's up? This is Mohawk Matt from Somni Studios, and today I'm talking about the 5 most common mistakes that new independent artists make that are killing their music careers before they even get started. All right, let's talk about P.R.O.s and copywriting. First up, let's get rid of the excuse that I'm too punk rock for paperwork. Because you see, if you aren't registered with a P.R.O. like ASCAP or BMI, and especially the MLC, and you aren't officially copywriting your songs, then you are literally throwing your money into a dumpster fire. So you gotta understand that you're losing out on income from every single angle. Every time your song plays on the radio, every time it's streamed, anytime somebody's looking to sync license it for a TV show, every time you even perform the songs live, there's money sitting there with your name on it. And if you don't do this little bit of admin work, this little bit of homework, that money stays with the distributors and the government. And you don't want to give them your money. You're literally working for free, and in this industry, that's the fastest way to go broke. Let's talk about the mistake of overplaying your local scene. You see, playing your local dive bar every single Friday night, you think you're grinding, you think you're giving your fans what they want, but actually what you're doing is just becoming background noise. Your fans are gonna lose interest. I mean, why should they rush to your next show when there's no scarcity, there's no hype? You're gonna find that your crowds are thinning out and you have zero leverage to draw in new fans or impress promoters. So make sure you're playing less, you're playing more quality, and then you're going to get more people at your shows. You're going to attract venues and promoters that want to book you into higher paying, larger gigs. So make sure you do not oversaturate your scene. All right, let's talk about the mistake that a new piece of expensive gear is going to rocket ship your career to the next level. I got some news for you. That $1,500 custom shop Fender is not going to make you sound like El Jefe. That $3,000 crushed glass DW with custom Zildjian cymbals is not going to make you sound like Josh Freese. You should be putting that money towards PR, touring, merchandise. I think you get where I'm going, because those players, that sound that they make all comes from their skill and from what's inside their head. So make sure that you're focusing on your tone, your technique, and not your credit card balance. I like to call this mistake the lone wolf ego. What am I talking about? Well, to me, it's probably one of the biggest mistakes that any new independent artist can make. And that is not listening to those that came before them. The I'll figure it out myself attitude, I don't need anybody else, is just a one-way ticket to a dead-end street. You see, if you ignore all of the veterans who have lived through the van breakdowns, the non-paying gigs, the bad contracts, the failed releases, well, you are just doomed to repeat their mistakes. And I feel like you don't have enough time and money to make every mistake yourself. So, to save yourself a bunch of time and a lot of money, please listen to the older touring acts. Listen to those that have already been where you want to go. Listen to the engineers live and in the studio. And always listen to your producer, because they have lived this. They know what has worked and what has failed. So, you do not have to repeat their mistakes. Their scars are your roadmap. All right, let's talk about one of the most costly mistakes that most new independent artists make. And that is going into the recording studio way too soon. I get it, you're excited, you want to put out that EP, you want to put out your very first single, but if you're sitting in the studio still figuring out the lyrics or the guitar solo while you're paying an engineer, well, then you've already lost. Take it from me, I made this mistake the first time I went into a studio. It's a massive waste of time and money. I've seen bands spend over half their budget arguing over how a bridge should go when they should have figured that out before they even stepped in the studio. You're not going to get the results you want unless you put in the work first. Because a studio is just a magnifying glass. If the song is a mess, the recording is a mess, then the mix, well, you get where I'm going with that. So make sure you practice until you can play it in your sleep and then call me to mix it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Then check out my other videos for a deeper dive into each mistake. Remember, knowledge is power. Now go make something loud.